Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are watching the YouTube station identification of one of New Bedford, Massachusetts resident YouTubers. That is right. I'm here live in the basement. No, this is not MTV's Remote Control, hosted by Ken Ober, and I am not Ken Ober, God rest his soul. My name is Eric Lemer, and you are watching WEML-TV, Channel 77, Episode 198. And, they're like, how'd you do that, Eric? A little magic here. It's called the pause button. It's getting a little hot in here. And it's been a crazy. It's going to be a crazy week. We got the Rant and Rave podcast tomorrow. Game show announcer Mr. Randy West, a legend of the game show world, will be our guest on the Rant and Rave podcast, hosted by Brandon Martin, Leon Calavera, and myself. Welcome. And it's going to be an honor having him here. But we're going to have some fun here because we're going to be talking NXT. The NXT Event Center from last night. May the 4th, 2021. But beforehand, today's May the 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. If y'all plan on getting drunk and going nuts, be careful. Drink responsibly. Get a designated driver. Get an Uber. And all that good stuff. And yeah, a lot of changes have been happening, man. Let me tell you, it's been a crazy week since my return to work. We're having the new supermarket getting built up. In fact, the remainder of buildings is going to be a totally different mall like never before. And let me tell you something, it is totally out there. You know what I mean? It's like totally crazy. Let me tell you, it's going to be nuts. I gotta tell you. Whoops. Here we are. I always have my notes, and I forget I have a microphone now, so I can do one of these. All right. And also, I got a brand new mouse to use too, because the other mouses have been and all that good stuff. So here we go. Since I was able to watch the entire NXT, even though I missed 30 minutes, it's a good thing you have a streaming thing where you can watch the whole thing of NXT. NXT did start off with the last night, the Falls Count Anywhere matchup. Leon Ruff versus Isaiah Swerve Scott, and it was a heck of a matchup. Near falls, near finishes, but then thanks to AJ Francis, who if you know, he's also the co-host of Most Wanted Treasures on the A&E network every Sunday at 8. Oh, no, every Sunday at 10? Yeah, every Sunday at 10, I believe. He got involved and given Isaiah Swerve Scott the victory in that matchup. Finn Balor arrives at the CWC. It will be interesting to hear what he had to say. And Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory are not too happy at the fact that Gargano has to defend his title against Bronson Reed in the future. Go and bust in William Regal's office, and William Regal's talking to Scarlett Bordeaux, and I'm like, what is Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano thinking, right? He says, we need to talk later. We don't care, right? Newcomer Asher Hale went one-on-one with Cameron Grimes to the moon, and Cameron Grimes did win the matchup. And more on Cameron Grimes. And then Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed the tag team of Caden Conn and Casey Catanzaro. They talked a little bit about Tiansha, which they don't want to hear about anymore. But then Frankie Monet, in fact, I think Casey Catanzaro first said, we're going to focus on the Women's Tag Team Championship when we watch that matchup in the event. And then Frankie Monet says, oh, we believe in you. I'm like, Frankie Monet does not even mean a thing. All right? So anyways, Cameron Grimes talks to Ever Rise after his celebration victory, but Cameron Grimes says, it's going to be me, myself, and Cameron Grimes to celebrate, right? I was like, oh boy. The Grizzled Young Veterans comes out there, runs their mouth about, and got upset about people taking their shoes off and hating Zach Gibson. He said, we'll fly out of here again. Against Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher was a heck of a brawl, but in the end, Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher won the matchup, moving them up on the rankings for the NXT Tag Team Championship. It'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. Isaiah Swerve Scott, AJ Francis, Ashante Diadamas, and Brianna Brandy was interviewed about the rough match, and looks like they have a stable up there. I don't know what the name of the stable is. Maybe Swerve's House or something like that. We'll find out. And that's a heck of a... I'll tell you what about the stable. With AJ Francis, who got a chance to interact with The Undertaker in that Most Wanted Treasures segment alongside Kane, of course, with Kane, I'm sure AJ Francis off-screen probably picked up a lot of tips and information from both Undertaker and Kane to help him succeed in the WWE. And if he passes that wisdom down to Isaiah Swerve Scott and Ashante Diadamas and Brianna Brandy, it looks like this stable could go very, very far on NXT. That's my personal opinion. And then Scarlett and Karrion Kross came out addressing Theory, how Theory's going to get his butt kicked. And then O'Reilly interrupts Karrion Kross. Pete Dunne interrupts O'Reilly. Finn Balor comes out, interrupts Pete Dunne. Balor punches Kross in the face. Dunne attacks. Then Pete Dunne attacks Balor. All four-man brawl. It's a crazy thing. But this cool Kyle O'Reilly, I like that. You know, he tips the Captain Scarlett, showing respect. And what a gentleman, right? This is like totally crazy. And Kyle O'Reilly wants to be NXT champion. When you get Adam Cole, probably being upset about that. So I'm sure Kyle O'Reilly needs to get Adam Cole out of his hair beforehand. And then all of a sudden during the end, Johnny Gargano Austin Theory attacks Karrion Kross. What the heck are those two guys thinking? I'm telling you something right now. This is not going to be pretty. Next week with Austin Theory, you know, going one-on-one. And then Gargano Theory says they're trying to leave while Mackenzie Mitchell interviews them. And he says, we're out of here. It's their time. It's because of the matchup tonight. They're not going to stand around. I think they're afraid of Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross made them beat the snot out of Theory. Then Saray, the battle two newcomers, Saray and Zeta Ramir, took each other for a handicap match. Excuse me for just a second here. Not a handicap match. Zeta Ramir and Saray went one-on-one. Excuse me. And in the end, Zeta Ramir, Saray did beat Zeta Ramir in the matchup. Then Walter, the United Kingdom champ, talked to Imperium via video. And then there's this Diamond Mine promo. Now, we don't know what Diamond Mine is. Is it a special segment? Is it a training ground of sorts? Is this a tag team? Is it a stable? We'll find out. Of some sorts. Or could this be a new Roderick Strong, Marina Shafir thing? We don't know. Or Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir teaming up? We don't know. We don't know much about it. So, and people saying that Tessa Blanchard may end up appearing, but rumor has it she may be signing with AEW. We don't know what this Diamond Mine thing. We'll just have to find out for sure. A lot of things are going through my head right now about that, but it's too complicated to say what the Diamond Mine promo is all about. Saray was shaking hands with Zeta Ramir after the matchup, but Tony Storm wanted to go after Zeta Ramir, but Zoe Stark cut her after the pass. And then the referee saying, well, save it for later. Tony Storm walks backwards, and then Zoe Stark made sure that Zeta Ramir is okay, and then shook hands with Saray. Saray, 2 big matches, 2 big victories so far. I'm starting to like Saray a little bit more. And then Jake Atlas went one-on-one with LA Knight, and LA Knight says some insulting things to the NXT universe, calling them incels and whatnot, but LA Knight did beat Jake Atlas in the end. And then Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell were talking, and then you got Dexter Lumis stalking Indy Hartwell, holding a bouquet of roses, and then Candice LeRae says, focus on the match. I'm going to stay focused, and Candice LeRae is trying to shut down the blinds to prevent, and then something else. And then Tony Storm addressed Zoe Stark, saying that one of these days she's going to beat Zoe Stark. And, Tony Storm's got a point. She's a former Mae Young Classic champion and a former NXT UK Women's champion. You don't mess around with Miss Tony Storm. She's been all over the place. Then Legado del Fantasma addressing the NXT universe, and they were challenging Kushida to a matchup. Santos Escobar challenged Kushida for a matchup. And then Wild and Mendoza, they want the tag team titles from MSK. The Kushida appears on the Tron, said challenging Escobar. And Escobar says, you're on next week. And then William Regal made that match a 2 of 3 falls for the Cruiserweight title. And then we haven't heard MSK's response to Wild and Mendoza we'll see what happens there. Then they had an interview, face-to-face interview, Raquel Gonzalez and Mercedes Martinez, and that was going to be a heck of a matchup happening next week for the NXT Women's Championship, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon talking about their match, and then they see Frankie Monet's dog, and Shotzi gushes over Frankie Monet's dog, Prince Presley, but then the dog did the business, Shotzi Tank, and Ember Moon's kind of like, it's not cute. Look what he did. Look, he left them a present, so to speak. He says, oh, no, forget the tank. We're going out there. And then Cameron Grimes tried to go into the VIP room, and they had stopped this big bouncer at the door. He said, how come I can't go in? And then once again, Ted DiBiase rented out the whole place. And Cameron Grimes getting outsmarted. If I were Cameron Grimes, I would take in Ted DiBiase as a manager at this point. Ted DiBiase was a manager at one point with the $1 Million Corporation back in '95. I would suggest to Cameron Grimes that if you want to learn from a legend, you got to learn from Ted DiBiase and how to manage your money, man. That's all I'm saying. If anybody can do that, would be Ted DiBiase. Then the NXT Women's Tag Team title on the line in a street fight. Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon versus the Ways, Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. It was a brawl. Shotzi Blackheart gave me Jeff Hardy vibes, doing risk-taking and all that. And a lot of people want to see Jeff Hardy and Shotzi Blackheart team up. And, Shotzi Blackheart and Jeff Hardy, let me tell you, I see those vibes. But in the end, after a wicked stepsister on the steel chair on Shotzi Blackheart, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell are now the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. I think it was a heck of a matchup, to say the least. But in the end, like I said, it's going to be something. Some takeaways I got from this, like I said, Isaiah Swerve Scott's new stable. I don't know what they're going to call it, but one thing's for sure, they're going to be going places, because AJ Francis possibly, hanging out with The Undertaker and Kane, probably off camera, got some advice from the two of them. I'm sure the two of them offered him advice and all that. And I'm sure in wisdom that passed on down to Isaiah Swerve Scott, Ashanti Diadonis, and Brianna Brandy. Watch out for those four. I think they're going to make a splash on NXT. We don't know about this Diamond Mine. Like I said, the Diamond Mine, we don't know who they are. Are they a stable? Are they a tag team? Making a debut, who knows? If they're a tag team, that could add up to, and they'll probably have two talented superstars together. That could add up to seriously, that could add up to seriously, just go for it. And I think that's what it is. Excuse me. Wow. Let's see. That means with the new Women's Tag Team Championship in the hands of the Way, will Dexter Lumis really ramp up his mind games to cost the Way the championship? We know Bronson Reed's got a shot in the NXT North American title. We don't know when that's going to happen. And it will be very interesting, to say the least. NXT UK tomorrow on Peacock here in the States, WWE Network, everywhere else. There's going to be a career-ending match, so to speak. The loser must leave NXT UK. Either Amir Jordan or Kenny Williams will have to leave NXT UK. Will one of them come to NXT here in the stateside to make a name for themselves, or go to Raw or SmackDown? We don't know. A lot of things, like I said, there's lots going on. We don't know. Sometimes it's shocking that, you said, you see someone like Imperium coming over to the States during this pandemic. So I think the United States is starting to loosen up a little bit. So as far as restrictions are concerned, maybe that will help us in the process. Will that open the door for Survivor Series in a few months? We're in May right now. About in 6 months, we'll see Survivor Series. Will NXT be involved? Once again, a lot of people want to see NXT get involved, or it could be a one-off thing, or like every other, have a surprise thing. You never know what will happen, in the WWE. It's crazy stuff has happened time and time again. Like I said, so NXT UK, that's a big main event. Lucky and Kenny Williams versus Amir Jordan. Loser must leave NXT UK. Then you got Friday Night SmackDown will be a throwback night. It seems like to me it'd be very interesting to see how this is going to be panning out. We know Cesaro and Rollins are going to go one-on-one in that throwback rematch. So I'm having so much fun with it. Well, that is it. That's all the time we have here on episode 198 of WEML-TV Channel 77, NXT Event Center for May the 4th, 2021. Today is Cinco de Mayo, May the 5th, 2021. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Please drink responsibly and be safe out there. And be very, very careful and be respectful towards others, okay? Just don't drink too much. Speaking of, Spanish and all, Taco Bell, let me tell you something. Taco Bell's been acting wonky as of late. I go to the Dartmouth one to try to order my cheesy gordita crunches. Temporarily closed. I don't know what's up with that. Hopefully it's nothing major. But then again, knowing the COVID pandemic, it could be. But went to the New Bedford one. It looks like their speaker for the for the takeout, the drive-through wasn't working, so they had a couple of poor workers out there. It's like a little cold, but a little rainy too. So, but it was not bad enough. And but they took my order. I got my cheesy gordita crunches. Yum yum. I've already ate it, so we're doing good. All right then. That's all the time we have, and I will see you in the next episode, episode 199. We'll get into 200 episodes of WEML TV Channel 77. I'm liking it, and hope you guys tune in for the next episode, all right? Peace, love, and it's Eric Lehman saying, bless out.